guys, what is going on? My name is Pete on the Beat, as you probably already know. In this video I would like to discuss with you the relation between the food addictions, binge eating disorders and all that stuff, and the fitness aka bodybuilding lifestyle. And I'm pretty sure I will get a lot of hatred because of the things that I'm about to say, but I really want to share my personal experience with plenty of the fitness and bodybuilding diets and some so-called healthy diets, healthy fitness diets and all that stuff. With the risk to disappoint plenty of people out there, I really want to take this out of my system because this is the exact way how I feel about the whole situation. And before I start with everything, I would like to point out a few things because I definitely believe it is extremely important to say all of those things. So first of all, you can be sure that I love fitness and muscle building and all of that stuff as much as you do. Probably I love all of that stuff even more than you. I hit the gym twice a day. Most of the time I'm extremely excited about the pump. I love to flex, I try to pose, I try to improve my posing game and whatnot. This is something that I definitely have passion for. I'm not interested in competing and all that. I simply want to attain a specific look. I have an idea in my head about the look that I really want to have, and I work towards that goal, if I can put it like this. But in my personal opinion, there is a huge connection between the binge eating disorders of most of the fitness enthusiasts, not only the fitness models or the competitive bodybuilders, all of those 10,000 calorie challenges and all of that life enjoyment, as all of those people prefer to call it, because they promote the idea that this is the true way to enjoy life. Like, if you do not consume junk food, if you do not stuff your face at least once a week with something like a 7,000 calorie challenge, eating all kinds of processed sugars and all that, you are not like true gym rat, you do not stay real true to the cause. Before I tell you what is the real reason for all of those addictions, I believe it's also right to point out that I had a massive food addiction. You see, during my whole teenage years, I used to have pizzas and breads and all that stuff here and there, but I was never addicted to food. I was never like in a situation where I constantly think about food. I have a scheduled day that I visualize. Before the day I visualize all of the foods that I'm about to consume. All of that stuff happened when I jumped on the typical bodybuilding diet. Again, I really do not want to offend anyone out there. I really don't want to disappoint anyone out there. But all of those promoted by the fitness industry diets that include plenty of grains, plenty of whey protein shakes that are packed with all kinds of sugars. The truth is, all of those foods, they cause cravings. You see, I started to crave food when I jumped on a healthy bodybuilding diet that contains plenty of so-called the complex carbohydrates, plenty of things such as oats, such as the brown rice that is packed with arsenic, only lean proteins that are also recommended by the top-notch experts and fitness gurus and all kinds of health experts out there, because the cholesterol is bad. It really doesn't matter that the cholesterol is the building block of the testosterone, and this is way more important for the muscle building. But nobody told me this. It was all about consuming all kinds of grains, all kinds of cereals, and this thing with these cheat meals and all that stuff. This is actually what causes the food addictions, believe it or not. You believe it is the junk food because the junk food is addictive. Most definitely this is true, but this is the top part, if I can put it like this, of the iceberg. Plenty of people got their food addictions because of all of those so-called healthy diets. You see, it's not because the junk food itself. There is something that is before the junk food. The junk food is the next step. This is obvious. The junk food is the next step. All the ice creams, the breads, the pastas and all that, the pizzas, the cookies and all of that, this is the next step. But the real cause for all of those things, the real cause for all of that binge eating are actually the so-called healthy muscle building, fitness, whatever you prefer to call it, bodybuilding diet. The multiple meals during the course of the day. I was eating like constantly, and I was hungry constantly. I became addicted to all of those, like pizzas, breads and pastas. I used to have like 2 cheat days a week, and I was constantly thinking about all the food that I'm going to consume on those days. And guess what happened? When I replaced all the foods, all the highly recommended by all the experts out there, lean proteins, all of the grains, when I cut out not all of my grains but all of the carbohydrates, back then I was not consuming even the safe starches, the cravings were gone. Like no cravings, no hunger throughout the day. How do you think it would be possible to eat 1 meal a day if I suffer from cravings? Plenty of people suffer from cravings, plenty of people are in the process of developing those massive food addictions, and plenty of people do not really understand how big of a problem that actually is. Like, this is not better in my personal opinion than the drug addicts. If you don't believe me, you can definitely Google this out. The carbohydrates, they trigger the same response in your brain, such as the crack, the cocaine, the amphetamines and all of that stuff. Basically, the reward mechanisms of the brain. They trigger dopamine response in your brain. They work on that neurotransmitter. You probably already know this. All of those obese people that are like 300 pounds, they're addicts, you see. And most of the fitness enthusiasts, they're not any different from those guys, just because they're fit and they burn all of that calories, and the calorie deficit, they use the calorie deficit, doesn't mean they are not addicted to food, doesn't mean they do not think about food 24/7, and they suffer throughout the whole day. Believe it or not, a person that is addicted to food and tries to stick to this bullshit diet with all of those grains, highly recommended fat burning / muscle building food, number 1 in some of those lists is like oats, or number 5 is oats. How is that possible? Like, even the kids from the kindergarten know that the protein is what builds muscle. How a food that contains virtually no protein can be a muscle building food? How a food that puts your body in a fat storing / carbohydrate burning mode instead of fat burning mode can be a fat burning food, or a food that is good for fat burning? It makes no logical sense. All of those conventional, I guess, bodybuilding diets are based on those types of myths, if I can put it like this. And it's pretty sad, because when we talk about it now in this video, it sounds pretty funny, or at least it sounds funny to me, because I do not live like this since the past like 3 years, almost 3 years. But I know that a lot of people out there struggle with all of that stuff, and they believe they're too brainwashed, as I was back then, that this is the only way to attain that look, that you're gonna be able to enter the coffee spot and all the people will turn heads, you're gonna rock a stringer, you're gonna be able to flex, you're gonna be able to do whatever the fuck you wanna do, because you have that muscle mass and you feel that way. This is not true. This is what the industry wanna make you believe. You see, this is what all of those brands want to make you believe. You can look a lot better with the most amazing foods on the planet, and you don't really need to spend all of your precious time on this planet consuming all of that crap. Matter of fact, if you don't believe me, like, think about it. And on top of everything, a lot of those diets also recommend the worst possible sugar, the fructose. So if you don't believe me, the thing that I would like to encourage you to do is just get the top-notch brands whey protein shakes and get the lists with the ingredients and all that, and Google each and every ingredient, and you're gonna be amazed how many of those ingredients are actually sugars. And then, if you don't believe me, you can simply Google like sugar and cravings, sugar and hunger, and then think for yourself how much time a rich person spends on food. I always talk about this. And then the next calculation that I would like to encourage you to do is just double, triple, or even quadruple that amount, and you're gonna be able to get the exact amount that is recommended by most of the gurus as time per day a fitness enthusiast has to spend on food and food consumption, digestion, in order to be a true gym rat, in order to build that muscle. And please do not get me wrong, fitness and bodybuilding, like lifting weights, getting the pump going, flexing, feeling great and all that stuff, it is amazing thing. It's hands down one of the sickest things I discovered for me in my whole life. Like, it is amazing. Along with making beats, this is like sickest fuck. I love this shit to that. This is the reason why I started doing this YouTube channel. But just think about it like this. All of those brands, they pretend that protein shake has the ultimate amino acid profile. Do you really believe that amino acid profile from the protein shake is like superior to something like the amino acid profile from a complete protein source, such as wild-caught fatty fish, for example, wild-caught salmon or wild-caught salmon trout, or grass-fed beef, grass-fed bison? Do you really believe like the protein power has a better amino acid profile than all of those amazing complete proteins? Why don't you think about it like that? And I believe you're gonna be able to figure out plenty of things on your own. On top of everything, all of those diets, besides the cravings, besides all that stuff, all of those grains make those diets pro-inflammatory diets. You see? I think I already recommended you this book in my previous video, the Dr. Perlmutter Grain Brain. Yeah, you don't really have to do this. Fitness, it's amazing. The degradative fitness lifestyle that is promoted by this twisted industry, it's definitely not my thing. And I do not believe you should live that lifestyle unless you really want to eat like 6 small meals throughout the day and you really want to live your life in brain fog. So yeah guys, this is basically everything I wanted to say. I definitely believe there is a huge connection between this so-called healthy lifestyle that is promoted by today's fitness industry and all of those massive food addictions. If you're a subscriber to this YouTube channel, then you probably already know I got the ADD action going. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up for now. I would like to thank you for watching this video. Do not drink protein shakes, buy yourself some grass-fed beef and hit the gym hard and make those gains. Peace.